Welcome to Seven Trumpets Prepper. And guys, in this video, I'm going to talk about the spirit of chaos that's at work in people's lives and in the world. Now, years ago, when I first started this channel, I spent a lot of time doing prepping videos and a lot of time doing scripture stuff. And in the years that's passed, I've focused about this much on scripture and about that much on prepping. And I know I'm going to try to bring that back to a balance point now. But one thing that I see clearly and clear as day is there is a spirit of chaos at work in these last days like never before. Now what I'm about to tell you is a few things just from my recent experience, but what I want to say before I get into my recent experience is that I see very clearly that there is agents out there that they claim they love y'all, they claim they serve y'all, they claim they're in a position of authority that's been ordained by y'all, but they dismiss foundational truths. They dismiss doing the right thing. They are puffed up, and I could just go on and on and on. And they say they run ministries, but it's more almost like cult followings to me is what I see. And on top of that, you see this spirit of chaos at work where that so much is taught truth. And then when somebody clearly brings out about, hey, what about this? Then it's just squished. That, to me, is what I've seen for a long time that I would call a spirit of chaos. But I've seen things really step up now in the days and years ahead as you move forward, is that every time that I look around anymore and I see people that love y'all, I just see a multitude of them, that there is just so much chaos going on in the background of their life and just stupid stuff. And it's not like they brought it on themselves. I mean, just like crazy random stuff go on. Now, I want to give you an example of this from my own walk in life so that like you can kind of get a picture of what I'm saying. Is that as in the past, I'm going to give you two examples like from my life. In the past, whenever I woke up in Babylon and come to the truth, the true Hebrews, the Sabbath, the appointed times, flat earth, true names, just all this stuff, just boom, 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 back to back to back, right? Is that as you come to that knowledge, then all of a sudden, like, man, just your family starts falling off, your job starts falling off, your church family starts falling, like just chaos, chaos, chaos. But now that stuff, looking back now, and the more I see that happen to people as they're coming to the truth, that is to be expected. I really have come to the point now where I'm like, if I don't see that, I'm kind of disappointed because it's expected at this point. However, now in a future example where I am right now, this is the stuff that really confounds my mind anymore. I'll give you an example, guys. I went to speak down at Boom Church in Atlanta, right? Well, Brother William and me and Brother Dana ended up talking late on Facebook. Like I think it was like 1 a.m. when we finished that interview thing, and doing that Facebook Live, and then on YouTube as well, I guess, whatever. And then I went to sleep. Well, I got up and I drove down to Atlanta, and so because I wanted to make sure to be there in plenty enough time. Well, when I got there, the hotel double booked my room, which now I'm a Hilton Diamond member, and for anybody that don't understand that, that's not like me like bragging. What a Diamond member is, if you're a construction worker, is you're part of the Never Home Club. That's how you get to be Diamond member of the Hilton, because you spend as much time in a hotel as you are at your own home, right? So, like I don't expect to be like treated like as like entitled, but like I do expect a little bit of respect when I go to a hotel. Like, please try to get that right. I spend enough money with y'all, right? Well, the hotel lady apparently put us in a room that somebody else was going to early check into when they got there the following day. So I went to bed late, and then at 7 a.m, somebody's knocking on my door. And then he goes downstairs and proceeds to call me too, and then they had tried to come in the room. So that woke me up and I couldn't go back to sleep. So there's 2 nights that I haven't rested good, and I've got to perform that night and present this information at the ministry conference, right? So I'm like, you know what? I told my wife, I'm like, let's just go get some lunch, and I'll take you to TJ Maxx. She loves TJ Maxx. And so I was like, I'll take you to TJ Maxx, and we'll go have a good time. Then we'll go to the conference. So I take her to TJ Maxx, and now keep in mind, I'm the only guy in there probably wearing fringes, right? The only person there probably that actually is in the tour, right? And I'm not trying to judge people. I'm just saying, let's just roll the dice for the minute and say that I'm the only person in it. Walking through the store, and them big old signs that hang from the ceiling. Big, thick ones now that's got like all the signage for the departments and stuff. As I'm walking through, the section with my wife, in one of the sections, the sign just comes right out of the ceiling and about could guillotine me, come down right, and the worker come running over, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, and I'm like, well, that was interesting. So I go on to the ministry conference and I speak, and I start feeling sick after I leave there. And I keep in mind there's been a lot of small going on stuff, but it is what it is. Well, I get to the hotel and I'm dizzy, and I can't hardly walk out the car and everything. And this is weird because, guys, I don't ever get sick. Like, I ain't been sick in like 2 years. I'm talking even before the abomination was going on. Now, if y'all know what I mean when I say abomination. But anyway, I wake up the next morning, and so I go to upload the video, which you can see right now, it's on YouTube, from speaking at the conference. And I literally get hit with a community guideline strike as that video is getting posted. So now I can't upload for a week, which hence is why you're seeing content right now as well, a week later. And then I come home, and it doesn't stop there. I go to the doctor, my blood pressure's out of sight, my heart rate's going from like 50 all the way to 170. I can't, I'm having breathing problems. Felt like my head was going to explode. And keep in mind, my grandfather died of a brain aneurysm. So some of this stuff I don't want to play games with. Family's had heart problems stuff too through the years, diabetes, right? So I go get this checked out. Apparently I have some severe sinus infection. And that's putting pressure on my arteries and all this. So I can't explain. No, I'm a contractor, not a doctor. And so here we are days later, and, I'm finally starting to feel better. But I'm like, the minute that I committed to go, pretty much the minute that things were in full motion for me to go speak at that ministry conference, like, all this stuff's happened, one thing after another, just the spirit of chaos at work. Now you could say, well, that's just a series of unfortunate events, Lou. And that's fine if you want to dress that up. And listen, I'm not crying about it. Dude, I'm a trooper. I'll just keep it moving. But, I felt like it's a win today when I posted up the YouTube video of the ministry conference. Matter of fact, I feel like that's the best presentation I ever made in my life. But regardless of that, what I'm saying is if you dissect that and you break that down, I look at, I'm like, what was important that week? Well, the most important thing was getting that presentation done. And so in the front side of that, there was everything to distract, unhinge, and frustrate, and take a peace and sleep away, right? And on the back end of that was, well, you did the deed. Well, now I will do what I can to try to make you sick, kill you, frustrate you, whatever. And I've noticed that the more I talk to other people, the more I interact with other believers, that the more and more that you apply the fire to walk out the truth, the more and more you commit. Like, I got an email from a lady the other day, said pretty much it was going to be either her job or she take the abomination. And, if she didn't, she was going to have to walk, or, she was going to have to walk away from it pretty much, because, it's pretty much taking the mark, and it's at least in the hand, right? And it even with doing that, that's not the end of the road. Of course, they're going to ask more and more of you. So I see this, and I seen it the morning that I woke up at the hotel, starting to head back home from Atlanta, because I was wanting to go to Georgia Guidestone to see I was sick. So I'm going to drive back down and film that too, y'all willing, for you guys, and do a little mini documentary about that too. But that lady, I felt so bad for her, because I'm like, she sees it, and then you see all these nurses and stuff that lost their job recently because said content that I would say and would get my video pulled. So you can kind of imagine why these people lost their job. And I'm just like, we were approaching a very, very, very dangerous threshold here, where that I see two things going on. Is that on a physical man standpoint, if you're not with the crowd, if you're not with the world, you're starting to be punished, right? In small incremental, which will ultimately step up, I believe, to costing you your life as a whole, because they're building an army right now of mindless drone people, and when it reaches critical mass, and you have very few people left that's actually got any common sense or hasn't given in, we're going to be the bad guys. It's Mayo, Stalin, Hitler process. And then, the other thing is on the spiritual aspect is that the veil is starting to be pulled back. And I seen this thing the other day, I think it was Yucca, California, somewhere, just type in California sky dragon. And literally there was a thunderstorm going on, and literally you see this dragon in the sky. Now people probably want to CGI. Maybe it is CGI. The thing that's interesting to me is it wasn't on the news. It wasn't all over the place, really wild, bizarre things like that happen anymore. The suppression on it makes me intrigued to even want to see it the more. And so I'm just saying there's a spirit at work that we've got to be extra vigilant anymore, because this spirit of chaos is at work in every facet. I see it all the time. I tell people when they're like stuff weird going on in their life, and it's just constantly this, constantly that, like, and it's repetitive, and it's something that, like, they're trying not, like narcissistic people, right, will be like always the victim. But empathic people really try to find resolutions in life. And a lot of y'all's people are deeply empathic. They ain't just like empathic, they're deeply empathic. So they will try to solve everybody's problems plus their own, right? But something I've noticed is that as people try to solve problems lately, the more they try to solve it, the more it's getting piled on them, myself included. And listen, once again, not cry about it. I'm one of those people. It's like, I'm gonna go get her, baby. I'll find a way to find a solution for whatever the problem comes. Y'all willing. But you've got to be vigilant to see that is the trend. And it's only going to accelerate as we move further into the final stages of the final days. And the more that you can wall your mind up to that and shield yourself and say, I know that, like, this stupid stuff that continuously happens, that even though I've tried to resolve it, even though I try to step away from it, and it just keeps coming back. This is the spirit of Hashatan. This is the spirit of confusion and chaos. And I rebuke that in Yahushua's name. And, it's another thing is, there's so much chaos stuff going on all the time. Like, I'm taking time to go back and review the set apart names, because people say Yahushua. I say Yahushua. And some say Yahusha and Yahweh. And so I want to make sure and review that and look back at the names too. And, it's just like there's so many distractions always coming that, things that are very important, it takes away from it. And so, as time progresses, I would just embellish, or not embellish. I would embolden. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the word. I would embolden myself to not give in to the things that try to distract you, because I've noticed every time a breakthrough's close in my life, it gets dark. Like, it just gets insanity. And every time right before something great happens, there's all this chaos and confusion. Just like at the ministry conference. Like, I literally told me I needed to be there with those people at that place at that time, just because everything is going on. If it was just an easy peasy show up and do whatever, that would have kind of concerned me. It's like, well, I guess I'm doing the right thing. But where there's always chaos and controversy abounds, truth is present. It's just how it is. So, guys, I just wanted to make this video as an encouragement to you. Number one is to be mindful of what's going on in the world right now, because, like, ever since a year and a half ago, there's been a spirit of chaos released. Matter of fact, people saying the horses are riding right now, and of Revelation. And, I'm starting to believe that the seals are broke and the horses are riding myself. I'm starting to believe that, because I'll tell you, when you see Damascus laid waste, we already see, as of the days of Noah, hybridized human beings. So we are at the threshold, and when we see that great worldwide earthquake and we see them trumpets start, baby, it is game on. So, guys, always till we see again here at 7 Trumpets Prayer Channel. Hope Most High Yah Baruch you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, show you favor, and give you shalom, my friends, in Yahushua's name.